This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by TouringPlans.com. And with your trips coming up probably for summer 2011, you're probably thinking to yourself, man, I can't wait for that trip to Walt Disney World. Can't wait to get down there and ride everything I've been looking forward to for many months now. But you know what? When you get down there, the last thing you want to deal with are long lines, right? Well, TouringPlans.com is your solution to those long lines. They've got plans to help you navigate around the long crowds that can generate on any given day, especially in summertime, and allow you to see everything you want to see in Walt Disney World without waiting in those long lines. Check them out right now at touringplans.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, May 30th, 2011, and this is episode 883 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of The Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding. And Len, I think we want to wish all of our servicemen and women who are out there serving a very happy Memorial Day. We know that we're thinking about them and the sacrifices they made. And I know that you have been making sure that your family not only recognizes those sacrifices, but also is fire safety safe.
That's right. This past weekend, we did a fire safety training class at my house. My sister had a small kitchen fire a couple of weeks ago, and the fire department was able to...
Or Linda?
Linda. Okay. Well, the fire department was able to put out the fire in literally less than 3 minutes from the time that the call was made. It still did like almost $20,000 in damage to her kitchen.
Wow.
Which is, you look at it, it was a relatively small fire. Katie, my niece, had put her backpack from school down on the oven, on the stove, and apparently as she was putting it down, she turned the stove on as well. So literally her homework burned, her entire backpack burned. It was a charred crisp, and it did about a little less than $20,000 in damage to the kitchen. The thing is that we realized was that the kids don't know how to operate fire extinguishers. So we went to Target this past weekend and grabbed 6 fire extinguishers. And then I lit some cardboard boxes on fire with a combination, Matt, you'll love this, a combination of WD-40, turpentine, mineral spirits, and bug spray. I was essentially looking for everything flammable in my house.
You know, gasoline does the job, I'm just saying.
I know. Well, I was gonna burn. We didn't have a lot of gasoline because somebody mows my lawn for me. But the only thing that we had that was close was alcohol, and I can't see myself burning alcohol. So we did the mineral spirits. So it was funny. So check the video out on Facebook under Len Testa. It's I'll set the stuff on fire and then I run going, oh my god, something's on fire. What are we gonna do? And then one of the girls will run up and grab the fire extinguisher, pop the safety valve, pull the pin, and then put it out. They really generate a lot of smoke. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, on today's show, one of the things we like to do on this show is talk about what worked, what didn't work, and Len had you went to 2 trips in a row, or 2 weeks in a row, I should say. You had 2 quick trips. They were last week and the week before that, and you tried out some new things, and you're here to report back on some on your findings.
That's right. So the first weekend, the weekend of May 13th, you came down for the
Destination D.
Destination D, right? D23 thing, and I also did a really neat tour of the Magic Kingdom with Jim Hill, which is a lot of fun. We'll have to have him back on the show to talk about it later on. But one of the interesting things I did was I stayed at 3 downtown Disney resorts over 3 nights: the Best Western, the newly remodeled and reopened Holiday Inn, and the DoubleTree. I'd like to talk about what I. It's interesting. So each of them was around somewhere between $80 and $100 a night. I stayed at the Best Western first. Go ahead. Sorry.
So the Best Western, that's on 192?
No. So they're all these are all downtown Disney. So they're on Hotel Plaza Boulevard, right?
Okay.
So they're all downtown Disney. They're all served by a bus. They're all they're located between downtown Disney and the Crossroads Shopping Center on 535.
Right.
So if you're driving by car, it's about 20 minutes to the Magic Kingdom. So it's not bad. So I stayed at the Best Western for the first night. And I haven't stayed in a Best Western in a long time. This was more like a Disney, I would say, a value resort than a moderate. So the bathroom was it was bigger than a value, but it wasn't huge. Mm-hmm. It was bigger than a moderate as well. The bed quality wasn't great. The decor kind of outdated. Staff was reasonably friendly. The inside of the hotel looks reasonably clean. but I just didn't get the feeling that there was anything special about that particular hotel for $85 a night. If I had a choice between that and a Disney Value, I think I would stay at the Disney Value Resort.
You know, it's interesting. I think it was the Best Western. I could be wrong, but I remember there was definitely a hotel at Downtown Disney, and I'm pretty sure it was the Best Western, that around the turn of the century, like around 98, 99, they used to have rates in the summertime, usually like in late August, of like, if it was 1998, the rate would be $19.98 per night. And I want to say it was the Best Western who used to do this rate. I don't think they do that anymore. But
that's fabulous.
That's interesting that it ranks so low. I would have figured it would have been at least, you know, I mean, I would. It's hard. It's now thinking about it, I'm not sure. You know, I guess Disney values might actually be better. So I'm looking at the photos on the website. It doesn't look awful, but I guess you're saying that was it just like it was just that it looked old. It felt old.
That's right. It felt like it hadn't been upgraded in a few years. Like I said, the bathroom was nothing special. Usually, when I think of Downtown Disney resorts, I'm thinking of like the Hilton, the Hotel Royal Plaza, where the bedding's above average. There's some kick-in air conditioning. The room should have been recently renovated, and the bathrooms are decent, right?
Right.
Best Western, not, which was interesting because they're almost all of the hotels are somewhere in the $80 to $110 range, so they're right there, but a little bit higher than a Disney Value, maybe during sales, or maybe priced comparable to a Disney Value. The idea is that you're getting something more for your money than a Disney Value. Now, you're giving up, of course, the extra magic hours. You're giving up the Disney transportation. So for the same money or slightly less money, you should be getting more in terms of amenities. I just didn't see it at the Best Western.
Yeah, especially, I know it's in Downtown Disney, but even so, I would still figure that the rate should be a little bit better than perhaps what you could get at a Value Resort, to kind of entice you. So
I'll tell you how I figured out how to do that later on in the show.
Okay, go ahead. So
the next hotel we stayed at was the Holiday Inn. This was actually my favorite, one of my favorite hotels in Downtown Disney. The beds were super comfortable. It just recently got refurbished, right?
Yeah,
it's been open.
It was sold, or was this one that got knocked out by the hurricane for many years, and then it got sold, and it got
right.
redone?
And the refurb went on and on and on for years. It was supposed to open in, I think, 2008 or 2009. Then it was supposed to open in 2010. Finally, it opened. It's only opened in the last 6 months. But the bathrooms are fabulous. They've got a glass shower door with some really great water pressure. It's a really good bathroom. In fact, one of the better bathrooms that I've seen. It ranks up there with the Disney Deluxes. Actually, beds were super comfortable. Yeah, pillows were great. The room itself, absolutely nothing wrong with the room for $85 a night or so. Not a bad value. The only thing I didn't like about it was transportation. If you're on that Downtown Disney bus, it's not running as frequently as the Disney transportation. It takes a little bit longer to get there because it's making multiple stops. But if you've got a car, not bad.
Yeah, I think that's probably a detraction, the on-site transportation for all the Downtown Disney hotels. I don't think there's one that would. They all fall into that category. So to be fair, I guess we should mention that.
Yeah, this was the weekend that we were doing the signature bar research, which is a whole other show we've got to do. So we were actually hopping between bars every night. So we got to test out how much it was for a cab ride from each of these hotels to say the Magic Kingdom. It's about $25 one way, which if you're doing that every night, that's actually not cheap. It's like for 3 nights it was $150 in cabs.
Yeah, no, it adds up really quick.
Yeah,
let me ask you this one: between the Holiday Inn and the Best Western, how would you describe the room size, in terms of the square footage? I mean, how big are they relative to perhaps a Disney resort? To put it in perspective, how much space you're getting?
I'm guessing they're somewhere around 320 to 350 square feet, so roughly the size of a generously proportioned Disney moderate. And again, the beds are really comfortable. Actually, the next weekend I stayed at the newly refurbished Port Orleans French Quarter, and the beds there are queen beds now, and they're super comfortable as well. So among the newly refurbished Disney hotels, I think the Holiday Inn is one that comes closest. But again, at $85 a night, tough to say that it's that or a value. I mean, the pillows are better, the bathroom is better, but would you give up extra magic hours and free transportation for a better shower and a better bed?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question because you got to say, well, I guess it really would depend on the time of year. If you're going in, let's say, summertime, and the park hours are ridiculous to begin with, they're mostly
that's right,
9, 10 o'clock. It's not really that big. Maybe perhaps saving the money is worth it. But if you're going in September, when the park hours are more limited, or even sometime in the fall, that might be more of a concern.
That's right. So if you're going like over holiday, like July 4th, where a value resort's $130 or $140 a night, and you can get a Holiday Inn for $85 a night, and the parks and the Magic Kingdom's open until 1 a.m. anyway. Yeah, I can kind of see where it's not that big a deal. Plus, if you have a car, it's not that terrible.
Let me ask you this: if you could give a letter grade, A, B, C, D, E, F, to both the Best Western and the Holiday Inn at Downtown Disney, what would you give them?
I'd have to give the Best Western a C, maybe a C minus. Nah, maybe a C. The Holiday Inn, I'd give a solid B. I mean, I think it's a decent resort for what it is. A little bit lower rate, or maybe like one more amenity, and like free Wi-Fi would be great. Oh, all of these hotels have a resort fee that's tacked onto the rate, which drives me crazy. It's like $9 a night. Oh my god, just put it on the rate. It's so bad. So the final, I'd say Best Western's a C minus. Let's say it's a C. Holiday Inn's a B. The last hotel we stayed at was the DoubleTree. So it used to be a wait, hold on 1 sec. Was it DoubleTree or Wyndham?
Well, there's a DoubleTree Guest Suites, and there's a Wyndham. Which one did you stay at?
It's the Wyndham. Sorry, it's the Wyndham.
Oh, the Wyndham used to be the Grosvenor, right?
The Grosvenor, right?
Yeah.
And this is the thing I've stayed at Wyndham properties before, and you could tell that this was not originally designed as a Wyndham. For one thing, the rooms face outside, and the property it's not dirty, but it's not kept up well. Like, you can tell they're definitely in the early stages of remodeling.
Yeah, well, this is like the third resort I can remember, because it used to be remember it was the Grosvenor, then it was the Regal Sun.
Right.
Now it's the Wyndham. And I'm not even sure what it was before the Grosvenor.
They're really not putting money into it. I mean, everything looks worn. The room looks worn. The pillows are worn. It's not up to Wyndham standards. And this was, I think, the most expensive hotel that we stayed at. It was like $103 or $105 a night. I totally don't see it. It was the least good of the hotels that we stayed at, and I literally can't see any reason why anyone would stay here versus the Disney value. I don't.
Really,
it'd have to be $50 a night. It's not. I mean, it was clean. People were reasonably friendly. It's reasonably well located, but $103 a night. Yeah. I don't know why anyone would stay there versus a value. And in fact, the rooms are probably nicer, especially with the new beds at some of the Disney moderates. I don't know why anyone would stay there.
I guess it's a good point.
It's really interesting. So here's the thing I was trying to figure out. So I posted something on Twitter after I got back, and I said, what's the appeal of Downtown Disney now at these price ranges? Because given the discounts that Disney's got out, the room only discounts that Disney's got out for summer, why would you stay Downtown Disney? And it came up with two reasons. People who have points and can stay at like a Hilton,
right,
for example. Okay, I totally get that. If you've got points and you can stay at a Hilton for free, the Hilton's a nice hotel to stay at. The other tip that I got was people who are bidding for these hotel rooms on Priceline or Hotwire.
Yep.
So I did some research on that, and I found that you can get Downtown Disney resorts for as little as $48 a night on Priceline or Hotwire if you know where to bid and how. So, for example, on Priceline, the hotel area that you want to look for is the Lake Buena Vista Downtown Disney area. And there are two categories of rooms there: the 3.5-star hotels and the resort hotels. The 3.5-star hotels include the Hotel Royal Plaza, and the least expensive bid that I saw accepted there on Priceline this year has been $48 a night. At $48 a night, I can totally see staying at the Hotel Royal Plaza. You stay there, right?
Yeah. The Royal Plaza is a great hotel.
Yeah, and for $48 a night plus the $9 resort fee, right? $57 a night plus tax. I can see staying there. The Disney value resorts aren't that good. If you've got a car, I can totally see. I can totally see that. Much more than $48 a night, though. You start to get into the territory where it's the Mouse Savers, right? Mouse Savers has a deal with Hotel Royal Plaza where you can get rooms as low as $75 a night, and that includes free breakfast and dinner for per kid per adult. So one kid per adult gets a free breakfast and a free dinner.
Right.
If you throw that in, then you really can't bid more than like $55 a night for Hotel Royal Plaza, because beyond that you'd be better off with the Mouse Savers deal.
Yeah, I mean, a great website. I always use Priceline, and I like to do that, Len. I check the Lake Buena Vista area, 3.5 star thing, and there's a great website I love to reference is biddingfortravel.com.
Oh, okay, I looked at that. I looked at betterbidding.com. Go ahead.
Yeah, but on there they have a list of recent bids that people have gotten for whatever hotels, and for Disney there's a lot of great results. I mean, it's a nationwide thing, but really for Florida and Orlando they've got a lot of great. It's a good reference point, and they also have a list of hotels. And for 3.5 star, you can get the DoubleTree, the Royal Plaza, the Radisson. Yep. The Hilton is considered in the resort level, but I mean you can get an idea.
The resort level, right?
Right. And
so
go ahead.
Go ahead.
The
least expensive, the least expensive rate I saw for the Hilton was $65 a night.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any recent bids here for the ones that are at Downtown Disney. But I love using Priceline for it, and that's the reason why I would stay in this area is primarily for that. But to answer your original question, is why you would stay at Downtown Disney as opposed to the values. Personally, the reason I would stay there, Len, if it was the same money, right? Let's say it's equal money for Pop Century or one of these hotels. If for one thing, the square footage, bigger room, makes a difference to me. That might be one consideration. You can get a bigger room at Downtown Disney generally than you'll get for the same money, for Pop Century or the All Stars, and that makes a difference. I mean, it's a little nicer. Go ahead.
How much of a difference does it make versus extra magic hours and sort of the convenience of staying on site?
I mean, that's something. It's a very subjective question. To me, it's not a big of a deal, but I know there are a lot of people, a lot of our listeners, in fact, does make a big difference. So, you've also got to see what Priceline is going for. Because there are certain times of the year you can get great deals on there. Where you're talking $40, $50 a night for one of these Downtown Disney hotels on Priceline. That's awesome. But if you're paying $105 like you did for the Wyndham, not even a question. Just I would stay on property and go for the value resort instead.
I think so, especially if I was, if it was just me and one other person without the kids, didn't really care about it. I'd probably stay at the Value Resort just for the convenience of not having to drive. And plus, if you if you don't have to, if you're flying in, and you've got Magical Express, then there's a huge difference between a Disney Value and staying off site and either using the bus system or renting a car.
Yeah, I mean, to give one bit I see over here is the Royal Plaza on Priceline, 3.5 star. Back in April, they got $85 a night on Priceline. So,
yep. But you can do better per night with the Mouse Savers rate though. So you really have to get below $55 a night for it to sort of make sense. On Priceline.
I wouldn't do more than 70. I would say would probably be my ceiling for that. Otherwise, I'm just gonna stay on property and figure out a deal somewhere.
Yeah. That's true. Well, don't forget if it's more than 70, the Mouse Savers rate is $75 a night. So you've really got to discount it less than that substantially.
And don't forget, and those annoying resort rates that you have to pay in addition to all that.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
Cool. But anyway, so those are the three hotels downtown Disney. I think the Holiday Inn is the best one among them. If you can get a good deal on it in Priceline, for $50, $60 a night. Maybe it's worthwhile. Otherwise, I'm thinking Downtown Disney or Disney Value Resorts.
Yeah, I still think the best Downtown Disney hotel is going to be the Hilton, followed by the Royal Plaza, and then after that, and maybe the Holiday Inn now sounds like
Holiday Inn. The Holiday Inn. Those are the big three.
Yeah, and after that, it's just really got. If you want to stay off property, I would say somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you think you're looking at something on 192. I was looking for Steve Medina today. Actually, he called me. He needs a hotel room for the night, and I was looking at the Masters Inn on 192 for $23 a night.
Hope you make good luck, bro.
Yeah, good luck, bro. Exactly.
Very good, awesome. Thanks for the reviews, Len. I know there are a lot of our listeners are always interested in the off property stuff, and even the Downtown Disney stuff, which is technically off property, but it isn't off property. It's good to know where they stand as of today.
All right, cool. Well, I'm happy to help. We'll have to talk about the bar research on another show.
Yes, I'm looking forward to hearing about that. I heard some good stories about that.
That's
going to do it for us today. Don't forget, this episode of WGW Today is being sponsored by TouringPlans.com. And TouringPlans.com has, the touring plans, which I mentioned at the top of the show, but they also have great things like the crowd calendar, which tell you the best park and worst park to go to on each day. They've got the Lines application, which is going to give you mobile access on your smartphone to figure out, not only where the crowds are, but where they are around the parks. You can also get some really helpful information. There's a chat feature. It's really cool things. And you know what? They've even got more. They've got a great blog to check out that you can read every day and see what's going on at Walt Disney World, and share some thoughts and trip planning tips. So there's so much to do. Check out touringplans.com for all the latest information that's coming out of the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. And that's going to do it for us today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit us online at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.